Hey, it's Soleil, and this is episode 254 of the Orange Pill Investor. Friday may or may not be roll day. We will see what we shall see. So let's get busy. I I found this little button after contacting support because I was like, how much margin am I even using here? Like I can see my buying power. There's a little button here. You can just click balance. And this looks like I have 150 grand worth of margin in use. And if I'm reading that correctly, that's a little bit alarming. I didn't think that that number should change unless I'm adding positions. It was at like 128 not too long ago, and I'm over the next year. I need to get that down to zero. I listened to Michael Saylor talking the other day, and he was saying how taking on debt to buy Bitcoin makes sense when there's no liquidation risk. So if they're not going to be monitoring the price of Bitcoin and then give you some kind of margin call or whatever, then that's a lot safer. And I do have quite a bit of those types of loans. Got some signature loans, got some 0% credit cards that I continually roll so I don't have to pay them off. Even got a collateral loan on my car and some money on a HELOC against my house. But he basically said that, you know, margin trading on margin where you can get liquidated is dumb. And so that's probably true. And I did want to call out that Tasty Trade did update the earnings for MicroStrategy. It actually is 10:30, not and that's going to be after the market closes, not 11:06 like what it was before. So I actually have a week less than I thought I did in order to kind of manage the amount of buying power I have here. They're going to change the algorithm, and the margin requirements are going to be severely increased on October 27th. So I don't want to really have a margin scare on the 27th. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is just dump this September 390 call, and it's going to be for profit. But it wasn't long before I opened this that they came out with the 450 strikes. I was super psyched to see those. So I had these 380s back when that was the highest. And then they came out with the 420s, and I grabbed one of those. And now they got the frickin' 450s. So I will probably be loading up on those as often as I possibly can. So as I I had been mechanically selling covered calls. So I got 2,200 shares. I was selling 22 covered calls at all times. And that guaranteed collecting premiums, but it also guaranteed missing out on some upside. In particular, the rip from pre-split 1,400 to 1,700 was rough. I ended up paying like 30 grand to roll those. So I got a little bit of PTSD from that, and I'm trying not to let that happen again. So I only have 4 covered calls rolling, or right now, and there's, what is that, 35 days to expiration left on them. $230 strikes and $250 strikes. So these will probably, I will wait until the last minute until 10:30, literally sometime before the close on 10:30, I will probably pay to close these, regardless of how much it costs. I I don't. There's no reason to think one way or the other whether MicroStrategy will report FASB, fair value accounting, early in Q3. Wait, is this Q3? Yeah, Q3. But I'm not taking any chances. So I try not to hold any covered calls over earnings for MicroStrategy, but I do need to pad my stats a little bit. And so at some point, if I start to get my start collecting more premium, if we rip to like 220, 230, 250ish, then I will consider adding some more covered calls here. I'm going to try to be a little bit more strategic with it, but certainly over the next 9 days, I have to pad my stats a little bit here, add some extra buying power. So I'm more than happy to dump that 380 strike in September. I'm tempted to dump this 420 as well, since the 450s are now available. Maybe I'll buy back in the 450 later. But while my MicroStrategy is up, and you know what? Let's check my balance. What was it? Yeah, it was 153, and by taking a little bit of profits there, it chipped away at the margin that I'm using. So I'm going to try to be a little bit less irresponsibly long here and peel off some of these leveraged positions and not have quite such a margin risk. I could sell covered calls for next week. Let's see what I could get. $900 a pop. And October 25th is ahead of earnings. The silence is deafening. Nah, I'm gonna stick with my altered plan, and I'm gonna wait for a nice pump to 220 again before I start limiting my upside. All right, so this is the main account. I got 4 covered calls against 2,200 shares. I got 20 leaps. I had added 100 shares of Tesla on the dip, and the margin requirements are especially favorable for Tesla. Let's see. What's the activity like? Yeah, and it's a bit down as well. I don't know if I want to be quite as strategic with Tesla, but their earnings is next week. So I may even take this one off on the 23rd before the close. All right, so I'm happy with. Am I happy with this for now? What's my average trade price on Tesla? 230. Yeah, I'm gonna sell a covered call against this one. I'd rather protect my MicroStrategy shares at this point in the cycle than worry about my long Tesla positions. All right, that's the main account. In the IRA, this one's a cash account, so no margin. I try to not to have any buying power whatsoever, so I only have $32 in cash. I've got 300 shares. I can sell 3 covered calls against that. I've got 2 leaps. I can sell 2 covered calls against those. And I have 3 covered calls. So I can sell 5 and I have 3. The price is up 7% today. So do I try to sell one more? Nah, I think I'm going to stand pat here as well. Just going to wait for that. I want to wait for the next rally and try to be a little less greedy with the premium. All right, so the joint account, still got this CLSK where debit call spread working. And I'm trying to sell it for 60. It's only worth about 35 right now. And I think I bought it for 30. So I was trying to double my money on this one. So who knows how long that's going to take. But there's nothing to do here but just sit and watch it either win or lose. Have 100 shares of MicroStrategy in this account. Actually, I'm not using any margin here. And I think I'm going to leave it that way. That will leave me a little bit of flexibility if this main account gets a little bit scary. I could probably transfer some from this account if needed. All right, so I have 100 shares of MicroStrategy here. I have no covered calls against it, and I've got these 2 long calls. This one is at the 220 strike in April. And I can sell it and make about 4x on this. I think I will probably go ahead and do that. And then if I want to get back in later, I will just look for the 450s. All right, they're going to make me. Okay, that failed. And then I also have this 160 cash secured put, which is, I'm basically, well, when I had a covered call on MicroStrategy in this account, I was basically running both sides of the wheel at the same time. So I sold the 160 put. That's got 35 days to expiration left. So it's been running for probably 10 days. And I will be looking to manage this when I can buy it back for half price. So I sold it for 11. It means I want to buy it back for 550 or less if possible before rolling it out. So nothing to do here. And again, I will wait until at least 220, which was our all-time highs, before adding another covered call against these. And then, of course, I still have my uber long leaps to December in this account as well. All right, that should do it. The 5K account, let's take a look. Doing well here. I've got CLSK 10.5 puts expiring today. Let's buy those back for $1. I've got my Riot put expiring today. I'll buy that back for $1. Everything else is expiring 11/22 or later. So nothing really to do there. Let's take a look at what Robinhood is saying is my buying power. So I've probably got a little bit too much cash here. Let me just refresh and make sure that that's up to date. Whoops. Yeah, 1,300 in cash. I don't know if that's because the ones I just closed have or have not settled. But I'm going to go ahead and sell another at the money CLSK put for next week. I think my buying power is 1,300, so it'll be interesting to see how low this goes. So I'm just going to sell the at the money puts. When I'm getting into a position, if I don't mind holding the stock, I don't really try to get too much of a discount. But if it does drop from 12.46 to 12, I will get a 46-cent discount on the purchase price of the stock, and I will have gotten paid this premium. So actually, my cost basis would be closer to 11.50. And the capital I'll be using is 1,200 bucks and getting paid 50. So that's like 4% returns in just 1 week. Let's see. This contract. Oh, see, I'm an idiot. I didn't filter for next week. And did I have the call selected? I was about to do something really dumb. All right, so here I could, I could get really greedy and just sell the 1250s right at the money. What is that, about 6%, 6% for the week? My average cost on these is like 15 bucks. So what the hell? Even if I get assigned on this, it'll just dollar cost average my purchase price down anyway. And of course, doesn't want to give me a fill. So let's do 0.68. All right. I think I'm going to have to smash the 0.67. There we go. All right. So let's check and see what Robinhood reconfigured my buying power to be. This is a margin account. So they probably didn't charge me the whole 1,200. And my, well, it does say my options collateral is 1,250, but my individual cash did not go down. So, not sure what that is about, but let's go ahead and check Riot, and I'll probably just do the same thing. It's actually picked 7 days out this time. So this will be $950 of collateral, collecting 38 bucks. That's basically 4% for the week as well. just put 0.37. See if I can get a fill here. Oh, they want me to go to 0.36. I'll go to 0.36. Market makers are so greedy. Oh, now they want 0.35. All right, you rat bastards. Actually, 0.36 is the bid, for God's sake. Should be able to get a fill at the fucking bid. Okay, thank you. All right, let's refresh and check my buying power again. I generally, okay, now I have more cash. That's really dumb. That's going to start pissing me off a little bit. So usually, like, I like Robinhood's user interface. It's pretty intuitive, but I'm not a fan of however the hell they calculate margin. If I tried to withdraw money right now, what's it going to say? So I could potentially withdraw 3,600 available and still not be in margin. That doesn't make any sense to me. But what the hell? I'm just going to go ahead and sell another one. In CLSK. All right, the bid ask now is 60 to 65. So let's drop it down a little bit. 0.61. Okay, so it does say my buying power is dropping. That's okay. Robin's not completely clueless here, I suppose. But clearly, okay, so now my buying power has dropped 3 grand. So maybe it finally caught up. No, but it still says my cash is 1,400. Yeah, I don't know. I need to figure out how to use friggin' Robinhood apparently, because no matter how much I spend, it's still telling me it's telling me that I have even more cash than when I started. So maybe it's adding in the premium I collected, individual cash. Okay, so now it's saying that my margin status is low risk. Got a $2,000 buffer. Yeah. Okay. I probably actually went a little overboard, misinterpreting what the hell ever Robinhood is trying to explain to me here. But this looks good to me. I'm still holding on to this April 450 call. Did I roll this? I think I rolled out to this one fairly recently. Yeah, because it's a 450. I'd have had to have done this recently. So I will. I'll just ride this one until it maybe 60 to 90 days to expiration, and then make a decision at that point. Like I said, nothing to do with the 1122s. Those were 45 days to expiration contracts. So I think we are good. All right. That's it for now. Be good, y'all.